What if I told you that one man, born on the cold steppes of Mongolia, would one day command the largest land empire in human history? That his armies would ride from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe, and that his descendants would reshape entire civilizations, rewrite trade routes, and even influence the modern world you live in today? This is the entire history of the Mongol Empire, and it all begins with a boy named Temujin. In the year 1162, on the windswept Mongolian steppes, a child was born to a minor tribal chief. His name, Temujin. Now, growing up in 12th century Mongolia was no fairy tale. His father was poisoned by a rival tribe, leaving Temujin and his family cast out, alone, and starving. It's the classic underdog story. Imagine, you're 9 years old, your family's in exile, you're hunting rodents to survive, and your own tribe abandons you. But somehow, through grit, charisma, and a knack for alliance building, Temujin slowly claws his way back. By his 20s, he's uniting rival clans, not through birthright, but through merit. That was radical. He promoted people based on talent, not tribal connections, and in 1206 he was crowned Genghis Khan, universal ruler of the Mongols. Now that he was Khan, Genghis needed a purpose, and that purpose was conquest. But here's what made the Mongols different. They weren't just brutal horsemen. They were organized, strategic, and technologically savvy. Picture this. A Mongol warrior could ride over 100 miles in a single day, fire arrows while galloping at full speed, and relay messages across an empire faster than most European kings could send a single letter. They used psychological warfare, spreading fear to weaken cities before the first arrow was even loosed. And if you surrendered, they often spared you. But if you resisted, well, let's just say history remembers. Their conquests began with northern China. Then they turned west. In 1219, Genghis sent a peaceful trade delegation to the Khwarezmian Empire in modern-day Iran. But the Shah, suspicious, executed the envoys. Big mistake. Genghis launched one of the most devastating campaigns in history. Cities like Bukhara and Samarkand were wiped clean. The Mongols crossed deserts once thought impassable. They crossed rivers in winter, using frozen water as highways. And in just a few years, the Khwarezm Empire ceased to exist. Here's the twist. Genghis Khan wasn't just a destroyer, he was also a builder. He established the Yassa, a code of law. He promoted religious freedom, protected trade routes, and even introduced passport-like documents to ensure safe passage for merchants across his lands. The Silk Road flourished under Mongol rule. Europe tasted Chinese inventions like gunpowder and papermaking, thanks to Mongol couriers and protected trade networks. And, get this, Genghis even valued literacy. He brought scholars, engineers, and artisans from all corners of the empire to serve in his growing administration. Genghis died in 1227. How exactly remains a mystery. Some say he fell from a horse. Others say he was wounded in battle. But the truth, we may never know. His empire didn't die with him. Instead, it was divided among his sons and grandsons, creating 4 khanates: the Yuan Dynasty in China, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Golden Horde in Russia. Each khanate ruled with its own style, but all claimed the legacy of Genghis. Enter Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson. He conquered the rest of China and founded the Yuan Dynasty in 1271. He even welcomed Marco Polo, the Venetian explorer, into his court. Under Kublai, the Mongol Empire reached its cultural peak, blending Mongol traditions with Chinese bureaucracy. But even he couldn't hold the empire together forever. By the late 13th and 14th centuries, the Khanates grew increasingly independent. Power struggles, revolts, and the Black Death tore the empire apart. By the 1400s, the once unified Mongol Empire had faded, leaving behind separate states and a shattered legacy. But its imprint, immense. The Mongol Empire redrew the map of the world. It connected East and West in ways never seen before, and hasn't been matched since. Yes, their methods were brutal. Cities burned, populations fell. But in their wake, they created a more connected world, a proto-globalization that changed the course of history. Genghis Khan's DNA is still found in millions today, and his vision of a unified, mobile, merit-based society still echoes in military, political, and logistical systems across the globe. So, the next time someone tells you about the great empires of history, don't forget the Mongols, riders of the wind, children of the steppe, and builders of the greatest land empire the world has ever known. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Which empire should we cover next? Drop your thoughts in the comments and ride with us again through time.